Welcome back to RPO. And for those of you that are new here, RPO is raw, precise, and objective. It's just an opportunity for me to talk about anything in football that is happening that I want to talk about. And today I am all about Arch Manning. I am actually evaluating myself and my evaluation of Arch Manning and what I thought he was going to be this season and how I wanted him to either prove me right, prove me wrong, or just do something this season. We are 8 games into the season. I have seen some really good things this year from Arch. I've seen some things where I was like, what the hell was that? But that's okay. That's expected. I said I wasn't sure about his pocket awareness. I wasn't sure what we were going to get from him. And I thought that he had amazing opportunities to continue to prove himself. I wasn't sure about his durability. I wasn't sure about his leadership. There were so many things about Arch Manning I was unsure about because I hadn't seen him play and be the starter of my football team. I think he's developing in the way that I hoped he was going to develop. The only thing that worries me about Arch Manning's development is Coach Sark. And that is something that I wasn't expecting coming into the season. I just assumed, because Arch Manning had been in this system for 3 years, so this is his 3rd year going into the system, I just assumed that Coach Sark would know him a little bit better. And in my opinion, I don't think Coach Sark knows who he's dealing with at quarterback yet. I don't think Coach Sark has adjusted what he wants to do as a play caller to what works for Arch Manning. At this point, I have seen Arch Manning in 8 games. I have seen him go on the road and play Ohio State. I've seen him go on the road and play Florida. I have seen him do a Red River shootout against Oklahoma. I have seen him go on the road against Mississippi State and Kentucky. And I've seen who he is in these games from start to finish because I've watched every single second of it intentionally. I also watched the other 3 games against the other opponents just to kind of cross compare and cross match and see what I was finding out about Arch Manning. And what I think I know about Arch Manning is he's a gamer. I think that the thing that you can't measure in a player in any sport is how they're going to be when it's time to play. What does the game look like when the game is on the line? Are you durable? What is your attitude like? Are you calm? Does your team like you? How do you react to your team? Do you celebrate? Can you take a big hit? All of those questions that I had about Arch Manning, he answered them very well. And I think Arch Manning is going to be great. And you know what's funny? If you like the content you're getting, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Don't forget to turn on those notification bells and do all the YouTube things. After the Ohio State game, I said, I think Arch Manning is going to be just fine. And I think he is going to be fine. But I need his play caller to get on the same page as him. Because the things that Arch Manning shines at is he doesn't need designed run plays called for him. He needs you to call a play for him, and then he needs to be able to figure out what is going on. Arch Manning needs to be able to feel the game. Arch Manning needs to be able to be in the game. Arch Manning needs to be able to feel what's going on, see what's going on, and understand what's going on. And he needs to be able to make plays. Because if you think about the times when we saw Arch Manning at his best is going to be when he was down at Ohio State, is going to be when they were down at Florida. It is going to be against Kentucky when their backs were against the wall. And I think because what happens is Sark opens up that playbook, even watching him just play at Mississippi State. Now, obviously, he's hurt, so I get that. But watching him and watch where he shines, it is when he has to figure out what to do. And I think what is happening is Coach Sark is calling plays based on how he's used to calling plays. But I think what Arch needs is something different. And I think Arch needs simple play calling so that he can improvise. And that's not a knock on him. It's just what he prefers. And I think the way he is developing is I think he sees the field very well. And I think if you look at the throws that are missed by Arch, he's making the right throw. A lot of times he's making the right read. And a lot of times he's doing exactly what you want him to do. He just isn't hitting the receiver. The last kind of step to him really growing and elevating is being able to hit that wide open receiver that he sees is wide open. And so that is going to come with time. But I think his coach can also help him, give him more of those opportunities. I said in a video this year, keep it simple for Arch Manning. I think if you keep it simple for him, he is going to complicate it in his way because he reads the field and he can see what's going on. And I think for a lot of people that don't sit and watch every single Texas game, they don't really see what's going on with Arch Manning because all they're watching are the clips and the cut-ups and the shorts and the this throw and the this throw and the this throw. But you're not seeing the totality of the game. And whenever you can't watch the totality of a football game, you can't really give judgment because you're not paying attention to what's going on. You're not paying attention to what he is doing, what he's not doing, what his team is doing. This offensive line is also pretty bad. And so it's really hard for me to evaluate a quarterback when their offensive line is not good. This Texas offensive line has been actually a big disappointment for me. And so because the offensive line is a big disappointment, and because we all know you need a good offensive line and able to help your quarterback, Arch is kind of figuring out some things. And I personally think when you have an offense that doesn't have a good offensive line, you have to trust your quarterback's ability to kind of figure out some things. In a weird way, I kind of watched this with Shedeur Sanders. I saw Shedeur Sanders not have a good offensive line, and so Shedeur Sanders had to improvise a lot. I'm not saying the Texas offensive line was as bad as Colorado's offensive line, but honestly, it's pretty damn close. But what I saw Shedeur Sanders do was improvise and figure out ways to make things happen. Now, Shedeur decided to take sacks. I don't think Arch Manning is going to take those sacks because he's faster, and so he will escape. But what I'm saying is the play calling being simple. Like, I think the play calling for Colorado that they use for Shedeur, I think that would be perfect for Arch Manning because I think he's smart. And when you have a smart quarterback that is athletic, that is a gamer, that is tough, that is going to figure it out, I think you have to adjust your play calling to that. And I don't think Sark has adjusted his play calling to that. I think he might be starting to adjust his play calling because he is starting to see his quarterback, when his team is down, his quarterback is kind of fighting back. Don't call a run play for Arch Manning. I don't think that's it. I think you give him pass plays and you give him handoffs, but you let him kind of figure it out. It does not need to be 100% a designed run for Arch Manning. I don't think that is going to work. Now, my one frustration with Arch Manning, because I'm seeing it as a pattern of behavior, and he started to get better at it in this Mississippi State game, was on third down when they're sending a blitz at you. You have to identify that your offensive line is outmatched, and so is your running back. So the guy that is coming free, that is your guy. So you have to get away from him. You cannot sit there in that pocket and just let him hit you. You have to get out of the pocket. You have to move. You have to sidestep. You have to do something. And finally, in the fourth quarter against Mississippi State, he did it. He started getting out of the way. And I know it sounds really basic, right? Like somebody's blitzing, of course you get out of the way. But I think what was happening also is we were behind. And it feels like the way that his brain works is to make a play. And so when your brain is triggered to make a play, it really doesn't matter what you do wrong because you're just trying to make a play and you're just trying to look for the open receiver. And I think right now, until his accuracy improves, I think that is okay. And so if he can just learn that on third down, they're probably going to blitz you because it's working because you're stationary back there. On third down, sidestep sometimes. On a third down, get out of that pocket. On third down, maybe act like you're going to run and then pass the ball. Because what is happening is defense are reacting to Arch Manning because they're also watching the same thing on film. And so they don't know what he is going to do. And that is going to be where he's going to shine, is on third down, doing things a little bit differently. And that is where I want to see him improve on third down. When you know they're going to send a pass rush, what are you going to do with that pass rush? What are you going to do in that pocket? You have to make some choices, Arch Manning. I've seen him get better in Mississippi State. I don't know if it's going to stick. I don't know if there was a one-time thing, but I saw it. I saw the development. I saw it happening in real game time. And I'm fired up to see how he's going to finish the season. Now, obviously, of the making of this video, I don't know if he's going to play this next game. I don't know what is going to happen, but I'm seeing him get better. I'm seeing him progress. He is doing exactly what I thought he would do. I thought he was going to get better as the season went on. I thought this Texas defense was going to have to hold and stand firm for this Texas offense. And I thought once the Texas offense started to get involved, we were going to have a solid football team. And I think we're kind of getting there. We've had a couple of scares, and now we have Vandy rolling into town. And I don't know what Vandy's going to do. But the one thing I know for sure is my evaluation about what I thought Arch Manning was going to be and what he's actually ended up being 8 games into the season, I would have to say was pretty spot on. I think he is right where he is supposed to be. because he's slowly getting better. Is it happening slowly? Yes. But is he getting better? Also, yes. And so I'm interested to see how he finishes out this year, assuming he's healthy, assuming he has to play with Vandy. Listen, that was a tough stretch. That was a tough stretch of the season. It was the main stretch of the season that I was the most worried about, is all of those road games, not being at home. We don't know who this guy is at quarterback. We don't know who this team is. And 3-1 coming off of that stretch, I'll take it any day of the week. And now we get to go back home. So anyways, those are my thoughts on Arch Manning. I think he is right where he's supposed to be. This is why I have also said that I thought he was going to come back another year and play at Texas for 2 years as the starter, because I think he's going to benefit from it. Because all of these little bitty things that I'm seeing right now, if he figures out those things, and if he can hit those wide open receivers that he's missing right now, this Texas team, I love it. I love it. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in my next video.